It would be wrong to conclude that a person has a streptococcus infection if there is no other evidence that the fact that streptococcus bacteria are present in the person's throat. After all, infection does not occur unless the host is physically run down.
So if you were reading on that test, would you struggle over those words, or would you just like say like strep bacteria and move on?
Yeah, probably in my head, just the strep bacteria.
Okay,
Like I
cool.
knew it was like,
Don't be
okay.
afraid. Like have
Okay.
a S infection. Like that can save you. So like, and then you don't even have to be intimidated by it. And in class, if you ever want to do that, don't struggle. Don't feel like you have to struggle through words because I'm like, I don't know, strep bacteria.
Strep throat.
Yeah. All right. So what is our conclusion, Sabrina?
The conclusion is that it would be wrong to conclude that a person has the infection if there's no other evidence than that it's present in the throat.
Yes. So we're saying like, hey, yes. So it'd be wrong to include if there's not something more. So, and then what is our support for that?
An infection does not occur unless the host is physically run down.
Yes. And what kind of Giovanna, what kind of condition does unless introduce?
Necessary.
Excellent. So how would you diagram this?
If sufficient, necessary. If you have, I know it's if that.
You're okay. So if unless introduces are necessary, what side is our necessary condition on?
On the right side.
Yep. So what's our right? What goes on the right side?
The sufficient is on the left side.
Yep.
So
what variable here goes on the right side then?
variable.
Or what statement?
Oh, if you're run down, if
the host is physically run down, so that's
down,
necessary.
right? And then you will I mean, okay, I guess now it's not the if but that, but in my mind my thought would be if I think if your immune system is run down, I know it has nothing to do with that, but okay, what am I missing?
So what's our so then what's our sufficient variable?
Sufficient variable.
So it's going to be infection does not occur, right?
Right. Oh, yes.
But on unless is our fancy one that we have to do something special to, right? Because we're saying infection does not occur unless this happens.
Negative.
Yes. So if an infection, so this says infection does not occur. So if infection does occur, that means the host is physically run down.
Yes.
Correct. All right, awesome. But anyways, back to our argument. So we're saying like, hey, it's wrong to say someone has strep if there's nothing else there because there's this necessary condition to having it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So we want to find something parallel to that.
Okay.
But I'm going to challenge you all. So think about your own argument that's following this same structure. So think about, take like 30 seconds and just think about what could be an argument for this. So when a person, so let's read A. So when a person experiences blurred vision, it does not follow that a physical defect in the person's eyes is the cause, since blurring of a person's vision can also be induced by certain drugs. So what's our conclusion here?
It does not follow
the first sentence.
That a physical defect. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're saying, hey, when a person has blurred vision, it doesn't follow that
they got a defect.
The physical defect that caused it because there's this thing that's drugs. Do we like this as an answer?
Yeah. I don't. You said you do?
No, I said why not? Why don't we like it?
I don't like it because
the last sentence is not it's not like a sufficient necessary for the reason, like for the first
we have no necessary condition. Like we're not saying when a person experiences blurred vision, you could say like, how could we make this one answer choice better?
A person wouldn't have blurred, I know it's not right, but they wouldn't have blurred vision unless they took certain drugs.
Okay, so let's start. So we're saying like when a person experiences blurred vision, we could say it does not have to follow that it's a physical defect causing it. because a physical defect cannot cause it unless
they took certain drugs.
there's something. I don't know
They
enough
were
about
born with it or something.
Yeah, unless there is damage to this specific like vein in the eye. I don't know. Like,
Unless
stuff
there's
like-
a star in his eye.
yeah. So there's no necessary condition
Right,
here.
right.
All right. So everyone go ahead and read B and tell me if you like it, leave it, or hate it.
Yeah.
We like
Yeah.
B. Yeah, I like it too because we're saying like, hey, even if a plant receives 6 or more hours of sunlight,
Mhm.
I feel like that matches up nicely to
Yes.
the fact that strep bacteria is present.
Mhm.
One cannot predict on that basis alone.
Mhm.
I like that compared to no, if there is no other evidence. And
Mhm.
I like how we have a necessary, like, hey, it requires this and this other thing.
Yes.
Really
yes.
like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave that one open and move on to C. Which I want to say, how, like, did you read that and you're like, oh yeah, I like, was that different than maybe the first time when you approached this question where you're like,
Yeah, like I think when I approached parallel reasoning, like I got like I read it and I was like, okay, it goes this to this, this, but I didn't break it down so much with the sufficient and necessary. And then now that we did that, I'm like, okay, I see it so much clearly in B.
excellent. All right, let's go ahead and try C. Yeah, what don't we like about C?
I guess I'm going back to the very beginning. They give you a reason. They're telling you because the body's run down this. This is just giving a state of it, even though you're not, it's just giving, it's just putting facts out there. It's not giving you a reason.
This one's saying like, hey, it's wrong to conclude that this is the cause because these are all the reasons why it can't be the cause. Where ours doesn't say like you don't have strep throat. It's just saying it would be wrong to say that you have strep throat just based on this alone. I think that I use this argument as in the homework as one of the examples that you have to come up with a parallel argument to. Oh yeah, like I had fun with that. Like that was tough. I even struggled with it on some of them. I was like, this is all right, let's go ahead and read D. Yeah, why don't you like that one, Sabrina?
I mean, it doesn't follow the argument. Like it does say like can't produce the berries without a male plant, and it does not follow that 2 or more. But then it just goes into like info, like it doesn't have that.
Yeah. Do we have any comparison going on in ours, like a relative, like this is more than this? Like we don't say like you're more likely to get strep throat if you have 2 eyes than if you have 1. Like no, we don't say anything like that. And we also don't have any really causal in ours either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we have going on in D. All right, so what about E?
The beginning of it doesn't match. This is the one I chose. I chose E. Because the last sentence, since only people with chronically high blood pressure are properly called hypertensive, we have sentence that's introducing the sufficient, but the first part, like that it is exceptional for that person, is different than our argument. It was saying like you can't say this just because it's not there.
You can't say this because it's just because it's not there. And this one's saying a person cannot be presumed to have hypertension on the basis of a high reading for blood pressure that's exceptional for that person. Yes, and also there's another reason why this one's wrong. A person cannot, oh, I went too far. Oh yeah, because there's no chance of this being right either. A person cannot be presumed to be hypertensive on the basis of a high reading for blood pressure that is exceptionally high. Oh yeah, the hypertensive part is wrong. Like where we bring that in, like you cannot be presumed to be hypertensive because only people that have chronically high blood pressure can be hypertensive. Where in ours brings in like this new condition, like not the thing itself. Like this would be like saying infection does not occur unless the host has strep itself or something like that.
Oh, okay, I see. Like it's an entirely new condition in general about infection
Yes.
rather than the one specific to hypertensive. Okay.